Hey, man, Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve. It's Dukes and Bell. It's Behind the Curtain. And we are live today at 2 o'clock, 2 to 6 on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. We do have Raheem Morris today. We are not live at Flowery, but we do have him live on the show. We also have our player segment today, so we'll get an update, Mike, on some of the things that are going on with our Falcons. And as we normally do on Wednesdays, guys, we'll get a preview of the Rams game, which is Monday night at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Wes Durham's going to join us as well today, the voice of our Falcons. We'll talk college football with him. We'll look at the college football playoff and all the things that are going on there. As we get this started, guys, Mike and I and spent some time day Monday when you were off talking about the Hawks and the lack of defense. We talked a little bit more about it yesterday. And last night they blew a 10-point lead, an opportunity to get back at the Bulls. Bulls win in basically the last seconds, like 1.9 seconds. Josh Giddey's balling out. Kobe is a Hawks killer, okay, and has been for the last few years. If you don't know who he is, he's the guy with the big hair. And I think, Mike, when we talk about this, and Dede, I want to get your thoughts. The Hawks have lost 4 straight now. Last night was a heartbreaker because, Mike, you described, like, at the end of this game, the decisions and how they lost this game just pisses you off.
Yeah, I mean, an off-the-ball foul, it's almost like balking in the winning run in a baseball game. It's just something you can't do, And I heard, like, Bob, I can't believe it, Nick. It's an off-the-ball foul. Yeah, like, yes, it is, Bob. And it's like new and exciting ways to lose. You give up 152 to these guys, and then you're making them look like the best team in the league. And the Bulls are still kind of finding their way right now under Billy D. Josh Giddey, and this is the one thing about Trey in the half court, you got to have him at the end of the game, but Giddey goes right at him to get one of those last-minute buckets, and then we talked about the foul. So, look, Nickeil Alexander-Walker had a great open look. He misses a big three. At some point, Carl, when you had that lead, we worked with high percentage stuff. I'm really down right now on Quinn Snyder and just kind of handling some of the clutch moments.
By the way, they are 1-6 with Trey back, if you're counting. And I don't know if you are. They were without Trey 14-9. And if you look at that, obviously, Day and you could go, well, it's Trey Young's fault. No, they're not playing defense. And they didn't have Dyson last night, by the way. No Dyson Daniels for the first time all season. So your best defender was not on the floor, but that's still not an excuse for what happened at the end of this game. What was your take on this, Day?
Yeah, I mean, especially, when you led this game majority of the night. I mean, you were up by as many as 19. I literally, as they're going into the fourth quarter with a lead, put out a tweet saying, this is kind of what you want from Trey Young if you can get this kind of production from the Hawks. And at that time, it was Trey, like right around 20 points, 10-plus assists. Jalen or the rest of the team you had, everyone had contributed. 7 of the 9 players that played were in double digits. I think defensively at that point, they had like 8 or 9 steals. So I'm thinking to myself, this is what you kind of want from the Hawks. And then to your point, they literally down the stretch of the game, like Mike said, just bonehead decisions off ball that give the game away. And you just scratch. And I literally, we had our party last night. So all the men were down here in the basement. We're enjoying it, have a good time. The women call us upstairs for something, come back downstairs. It's not even 5 minutes later. And somebody goes, the Hawks lost that game, right? And I'm like,
what?
So just unbelievable, man.
It really was. Oh, what's your take, bro?
Got 2 numbers for y'all, 5 and 9. 5 being the number of wins the Hawks have at home this year, 9 being the number of losses they have at home this year.
I thought you were going to say 7-6 or something like that. Go ahead.
No, 5 and 9. No 6-7, no 6-7. I mean, them being 6 or 7 would be better than be 5 and 9 right now. But not getting it at home, which is inexcusable. Not being able to protect home court. And last night, another great example of you come out a little bit flat to start the second half, you pick it back up a little bit. Then the fourth quarter, that lull hits and can't get a basket. Can't stop them from getting a basket, and more importantly, you can't finish. This was sort of the hallmark of those Nate and those Lloyd teams about how you had leads late in ball games and you weren't able to finish. So that goes back again on the coaching. Like, what is going on in those huddles? What's going on? What's being said by Quinn right now that's not getting those guys, putting those guys in position to finish out and close out ball games. So wasted another near triple-double last night from Jalen Johnson. Trey again had a decent game. Just efforts being sort of back pages or kind of like other parts of the story right now, because the main thing is this team still cannot and will not finish ball games strongly, especially at home.
And Trey's got to be better at the three, Carl. I mean, 1 for 7. He's got to make those. I thought Okongwu had a bad night last night. We talked about, Kennard has been very inconsistent. That's being generous. Veet was the one guy that was hitting the threes. So when the game started to slip away, it's like the Hawks all of a sudden hey, wake up call. You're losing the game. And then it's like they panicked and then they're rushing their shots and the half court just did not look cool. So it gets back to what Oren said about what is coach doing? What is Quinn doing here?
Yeah, and if you guys remember, this was kind of the tail of the tape last year too. They had a lot of games last year where they'd be leading, going into the fourth quarter, throughout the fourth quarter, and then they couldn't find ways to finish. And next thing you know, they've blown the lead and they've lost those games. This is very similar to what was happening to them a lot last year.
Yeah, it's not indicative of what they'll do, down the road in the playoffs. But these trends, I don't like them. I don't like the way this feels, and certainly this has become more of the norm, to your point, Day-Day, and then it has been, hey, they win these games. They pull them out. You got to calm down a little bit, right? And this is where you think the veteran presence of a Trae Young would take over a game like this, to Mike's point. If I'm not shooting it well from three, I'm not forcing it. I got to find somebody else. I got to create something else. And that just didn't happen at the end of that game, but nevertheless, the off-the-ball foul will be talked about, and Hawks fans will say it was bullcorn, and it should have never happened, but it did, and you gave them a chance to win, and they closed the deal. Meanwhile, guys, we do have Ra on today, as we mentioned, and Mike, what do you want to hear from him? What are you expecting to hear from him after putting a couple of wins together, and now heading into what is a big game on Monday night for the Rams, certainly for playoff position, and for us to play spoiler?
Yeah, I mean, we talked a lot about the fan base. It's sort of almost like 55-45. It's like everything else, around sports in this town. Some guys say keep him. Some guys say don't. Not sure where, this consulting firm comes in, Sportology. Did Sportology help hire Raheem? Because how long have these guys been working with the Falcons? That's another question. We found yesterday Albert Breer had it in Monday Morning Quarterback. They've hired this consulting firm. I'll ask him, do you feel you've done enough to keep your job? Why are now the offense? Is it simply a matter of Kirk Cousins just can understand what Zach does and you couldn't get Penix to do it? And he's not going to give me the straight answer, Carl. We'll try to ask the question about why this offense looks so much better now. I'll ask him about how involved he was in picking these defensive pieces the last 2 years, because that is a positive moving forward. Because, if he was involved in the Rams couple of last drafts and what we've done, that's one thing I think you can definitely put a check in his box. He'll help to pick some good groceries.
What if he just says Kirk Cousins, to answer your question?
Yeah.
What's that mean? What if Coach just says –
Right, why didn't you just start him to start this season and just let bygones be bygones, whatever the hell it was last year?
But because that, to me, is the answer. I don't know if he'll answer it that way, but if he just says, guys, Kirk Cousins, his experience is what's playing the difference right now. And then, what we're doing is going, okay, I'm with Mike. Like, if you felt that way, but I think once they made the commitment to Michael Penix and they told him in the offseason he was going to be the guy and he got all the reps and all the pre-camp stuff, then you were committed to it. Either way, we will talk to Ra today. Day-Day, is there anything you guys expect or want to hear from Ra today as we get ready for – and by the way, we got 2 more of these. We got this week, we got next week. And literally our offseason starts. And so for us who've been up there every week and, with the holidays obviously going on, but we've been up there every week, this vibe has been – weird. It hasn't been fun, to be honest with you guys. I mean, like, you guys want to know what, hey, you guys get a chance to go up there and talk to. I'm not saying the guys haven't been fun to be around, because nobody's coming with a terrible or pissed off attitude. But the fun part of it is the unfun part of it has been the inconsistency week in and week out and just being up there. But the people we deal with have been great. Day-Day, what do you guys want to hear?
I don't know if there's anything I want to necessarily hear at this point, if we're honest, guys. With 2 games left, we're pretty much, band-aiding our way through the end of the regular season. It's good that they've been able to get these wins. I would like to just see, not necessarily here, but I wouldn't, what's going to be important for me is how they play against this Rams team. Because to your point, Carl, this is a Rams team that has a lot on the line. It is a very tight race between them, the 49ers, and Seahawks for that NFC West division. And even if the Falcons somehow lose this game, right, which I'm pretty sure – what are we? I'm pretty sure we're dogs, right? We're home dogs.
Oh yeah, with the Rams. Yeah.
So even with us losing this game, can we get the effort? If this is one of those one score games that we lose, is the effort there that kind of has been consistent from what we've seen the last 2 weeks. And so I just want to maybe if it's here, and what's his approach to make sure we see that this week? Because at this point in the season, like, I mean, Drake's banged up. He's not, obviously 100%. It's great. Kurt's back under center. Defense has been consistent. They've been, for the most part, the most consistent thing we've had all season. So, I mean, there's not a lot, in my opinion, that he can tell me at this point. Nothing against him, not in a bad way. I don't want to make it sound bad, but I don't know that there's anything I can hear that's going to really make me feel good about these last 2 games.
Yeah, that's fair. And by the way, we are an 8-point dog at home. That's a lot at home. But the Rams are really damn good, so it's not surprising. Oh, anything for you as far as Ra's concerned today? We will have him. Normally, guys, around 3:30-ish, depending on when they get off the field, is when we usually grab him. Go ahead, O.
It's not so much, I think, what he says this week. It's just sort of how he says it. I got a sneaking suspicion that the guy's going to be extra amped this week.
Okay.
Because they got a chance to play the potential number one seed here at home. You can play a little bit of spoiler. It's Christmas week. So I think there's going to be some extra energy and extra juice in that building this week, knowing that, like, we don't have anything to play for, but this team that we're going against this weekend, they have almost everything to play for right now. So why can't we just go out there and play spoiler? So I'm not going to say it's their Super Bowl. I don't want to put that because it's not the end of the season. It's not the playoffs or anything like that. But I just have a feeling that this team, Raheem is going to be, there's going to be an extra pep in his step, I think, today and the rest of this week, knowing that what's at stake, how big of the dogs they are at home, like everything that's against them at this point right now, and what they'll be able to do if they go and they pull a win off on Monday night against this Rams team and but stop that number one seed from happening on a home field.
He's got familiarity, obviously, with the Rams as a coach there, and we do have the firepower on the defensive line with what we've got with Pierce and Walker and with Dorless now showing out. So all of a sudden now maybe we can make Matthew Stafford uncomfortable. And again, this was a game I thought, Carl and I said this could be a huge game for home field advantage in the playoffs. To me, look, you get the most winnable division. All this is a moot point. We always root for our Falcons. We don't apologize for a win. We root for these guys to get it done Monday night. But now how is Raheem and what he does going to be judged by this consulting firm who apparently are going to have a big voice, I presume, to help Arthur Blank make a decision on the offseason?
Yeah, it's another feather in his cap, though, Mike. I mean, when we said this, the argument, I don't know what his argument is. It feels like
it look great. I said, we said it yesterday, the totality of the season, when you didn't make the adjustments, when you weren't prepared, when the execution wasn't there, that's when when the season was on the line and you lost it. So to win without pressure, some would say that's winning without pressure.
Yeah, no, but you know what? Well, here's the deal, though. The pressure is you lose out, and you're definitely probably going to lose your job.
That's for sure.
That's the other part of it. So we'll see. We got Raw today. We got a player segment as well. We'll find out what time the player is going to stop by. One last thing today we'll be asking you guys is, and you only get one, okay? You're not going to get a chance to sit
there.
There
can be only one.
Sit under the tree and unwrap 12 gifts. But what, as Atlanta fans, sports fans, do you want for Christmas? So, for example, I want a new quarterback, okay? What's the gift you would want? Mm-hmm. Hey, I want a new coach. I want a new OC. Or maybe, hey, I want to trade for the Hawks to become a contender. These are the kind of things we're talking about, all right? And it can go any way, any which way you want. But we're going to talk about it today with it being Christmas Eve because as sports fans, Mike, I still think we're craving a lot here in Atlanta. I ran into an Atlanta United fan last night. And they were like, man, you know what I want? I want Atlanta United to be what they used to be for Christmas. Okay, not bad. I don't know if that's going to happen. We got some changes coming, but, it's things like that. The Braves, hey, I want some starting pitching. We're going to be asking you today on the show and taking plenty of phone calls as to what you want as a Atlanta sports fan.
I like it. Yeah, all of the above, man. An innings eater for the Braves, and I want a time machine to go back to 2018 because that was some great fun. Also coincided with the Braves not being very good. We talked about this. The juice orange of the 2017, while the Braves were kind of moving over to Truist and they were rebuilding. It was like the perfect storm, and the stars aligned for everyone to be so excited. Plus, everybody could get on board. It was something everyone could be, whether you were a transplant or a local with United. And all that is not
out
there.
The window.
Not there now.
Yeah,
a calendar year of Atlanta sports fans not reaching postseason.
Right.
How many?
I said a full calendar year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
No, yeah, it is a big deal.
Hawks
We
failing
also
to play in.
That's right. And we'll also continue our college football conversation today, guys, as the Dogs get ready for their big college football playoff. 2:00, man, be there. Merry Christmas, everybody. Obviously, we're off tomorrow. Mike and I will be back. The show will be back on Friday. And then we'll get into next week with New Year's and all those big games. But looking forward to seeing what happens on Christmas Day. And we will get our picks in today as well, all right? Because we have games Christmas Day. We're going to go ahead and give you our picks before we normally do on Friday. So that'll be a part of today's show as well. Hey, man, thanks for being here. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Happy holidays. And we'll talk to you guys on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game.
Cheers.